Hello everyone and welcome to week 7 of the UBLN. Your New York Empoleon are 5-1, taking on Fireburner and the Washington Weaviles here this week. As you can see on the screen, we are predicting him to bring Torkoal, Primarina, Persian, Alolan form, Shaman, Mega Manectric, and Latias. We on the other side are bringing Gliscor, Mega Beedrill, Tapu Fini, Haxorus, Registeel, and Breloom. If you don't know those sets, I encourage you to go watch the Team Builder. It is live. It went up yesterday, so go watch that. And just a heads up reminder, guys, last week there was no battle for the UBLN. This was not a forfeit. This was not anything. This was a bye week to try to get people to schedule their battles if they had fallen behind or anything. And since we were still up to date, we didn't end up having one last week. So this is week 7. No, nobody forfeited, nothing like that. The league was on a like makeup week kind of thing, and so at the halfway point of the season. So we didn't need to do that, so we didn't end up having a problem with that. Anyway, I will see you guys back here with this battle momentarily. Alright everyone, welcome back. It has been a hot sec since the last time. We have been trying to connect and reconnect so many times, but we see Diggersby, Manectric, Primarina, Shaman, Cobalion, and Togekiss. Now what that means is we don't see a Scarfed Latias, and I am so okay with that. So totally okay with that. No Torkoal, instead the Togekiss is here. That's fine. Togekiss can come right into that spot. And no Latias. Instead we've got the Diggersby. Diggersby's a threat, let's be real. I'm not gonna say that that's like something I can just sleep on. It's definitely gonna be a problem. But it's definitely, oh god. I'm definitely not, not upset, let's say, to not see some of those other threats that are on his team. Now, what is he going to lead with here? He could go with Shaman. He could go with Cobalion, try to set his rocks up. Neither of those love staring down a Registeel. Diggersby does, though. Now, I could go with Beedrill. It's pretty safe, unless something's Scarfed. And I could go with Gliscor, just to have the defog. But I think I'm just going to lead Registeel. It's a safe lead. Not a lot to worry about for the most part. Hopefully all goes well in this battle. We've had a lot of trouble connecting to each other, so I really hope the internet doesn't drop. I don't have time to replay this battle right now. So, oh man, this is like stress to ×5 because there's so many things that could go wrong. But hopefully all goes well and everything is okay. He's going to lead with the Cobalion, and we are going to get this battle underway, leading with my Registeel here. Staring down Cobalion. Close combat doesn't OHKO, even if it's Life Orb. And I mean, if he's Life Orb Adamant, it has a small chance to OHKO. If he's Banded, then it might kill. I'm going to try to set up my rocks here. I think that's going to help me in the long run of this game, honestly. And, he could try to set up his rocks here. That is what it is if he does. Obviously, Beedrill doesn't appreciate the rocks, but everything else on my team is pretty okay with it. So it's not the end of the world. Now, if he does set up his rocks and I get my rocks up, I get a chance to switch out into Gliscor, potentially. So he does just set up his own rocks. That's fine. I'm not going to try to defog right now. I just would rather go into Gliscor to eat the close combat. Gliscor obviously much more defensive than the Registeel on the physical side. Takes close combat so much better. Takes everything from this thing. So hopefully he's not going to try to, I don't know. I don't even know what he would do to a Gliscor right here. So we're just going to go into Gliscor, get that Toxic Orb off. Don't have to worry about it. And we have our rocks up. I'm not going to click defog right now. I don't think I need to. And I think that we can proceed to be just fine in here against this Cobalion. He's probably got Justified. I mean, by that I mean he has Justified. So we see close combat. Do we see the Life Orb? No Life Orb. Okay, so we know he's not Life Orb. That damage was very negligible. After Stealth Rock's damage, close combat was doing very, very little damage. So we will recover that just now. He has Togekiss, which is off the ground. Do I think he's going to stay in here? I highly doubt it. He could have HP Ice on this thing, and I kind of want to scout for that. I don't have Protect on my Gliscor. If he has HP Ice, then we're in a weird spot, because I really don't want to lose my Gliscor right now, and it would kill. So that makes me really want to go out into my Tapu Fini, kind of predicting an HP Ice. I just don't know what set he's running right now, and I think he might have that. But he also may switch out knowing... Well, he knows I'm not like Yachi or anything. Because Tapu Fini can eat that. He's already at -1 defenses right now. And so... Then Tapu Fini is doing a ton of damage to him. So I'm going to do that. I want to know if he has that HP Ice. He's just going to hard switch. That's fine. He's going to go into Rose. Let's see what this is. Is this the Togekiss? It's the Shaman. So I really could have clicked knockoff there. That would have been amazing. It's actually terrible that he did go into the Shaman there on my Tapu Fini here. Just because Shaman obviously does so much damage to Fini. Now, that may have been more him getting lucky on my switch than him predicting me to go into Fini right there. But let's take a look at like a Life Orb Shaman set against my Fini. Seed Flare is going to do 40 to 50%. Ice Beam is going to do 70 to 90%. And that's... Do I like those odds? Do I like those odds? I kind of do. That's Life Orb Shaman. So I'm going to click Ice Beam here. He's going to go straight for the Seed Flare. He's going to land it. Now we are Assault Vested, so we do just take that hit just fine. Doesn't get the special defense drop, which doesn't really matter. And we get a lot of damage off on him. You didn't see Life Orb, I don't think, and we didn't see... But we know that another Seed Flare will kill, and I don't want my Fini going down just yet. So at this point, I think the safe switch is right out into my Registeel. That's really, really free. Am I okay with Fini taking all that damage? It's not ideal. Registeel's really safe here, but I could go into Haxorus here, because that did a lot to my Fini. That may have been Specs, if I didn't see the Life Orb there, and because that did a hefty chunk to Fini here, and so if I go into Haxorus on a Choice Specs Shaman, he's going to be doing 60%. That's too much. Registeel is the safe switch here. So we're going to go to Registeel here. And he's going to switch out and go out into his Empoleon again. So I guess he is just, making these predictions, making these plays. That's okay. I'd rather he make that play than any other, honestly, in this particular situation. I see leftovers now on Empoleon, so that's good information to have. I do need to start chipping away at this thing, and I think he knows it. But last time I went straight into Gliscor here, and if he does have the Hidden Power Ice, he'd be expecting me to do that. I'm going to click Seismic Toss. He may just straight close combat again. Goes for the Iron Head, so we do end up seeing a little bit more of his set. He has an Iron Head. That means I'm assuming he's probably not going to be Hidden Power Ice. There is one more slot. I want to say it's Volt Switch. But let's see. I'm gonna at this point just assume he's not gonna click Hidden Power Ice here. In the range the Shaman's at, it's definitely low enough that I can safely click Earthquake here and just get some real damage off on it. So there's the Volt Switch, so we know he doesn't have Hidden Power Ice, and that's amazing information for me to have, because that just means this Gliscor walls this Empoleon hard. And at that point, I don't see him staying in, and even if he does, Knockoff is still a really safe play. So that's what I'm going to click here, is just straight Knockoff if he does switch out, which I expect him to. Like if he stays in, he goes for the Iron Head, fine. He's going to be doing a little bit of damage. He'll get the +1 off that. So next time he'll be doing a little bit more damage. But that's just not... where's my Gliscor set? Gliscor, yeah, from a Iron Head I'm taking like... I don't know, 20%. So he's going to go out right into Shaman. It's going to take Stealth Rocks here, and then it's going to take a knockoff. And we're going to get rid of its item. And it is a Z Shaman. Okay. What Z move does this thing have? Hold the phone. What Z move does this thing have? That's terrifying. This thing could be any number of Z moves. And I don't like the sound of that. I don't want him. I don't want him killing Gliscor. Gliscor is too important right now. Breloom's really pretty safe here. He could go for the Psychic here. Registeel's actually extremely safe. He could go back into Empoleon again, but then I just go back into Gliscor again, and we do this dance. So I'm gonna go out into Registeel. It seems really safe. And if he does click that Z move here, then Registeel's gonna eat it, whatever it is, because I'm max special defense. So he goes for the Synthesis. So we do see Synthesis on this set, and that's not good. That's definitely not good. Now I can click Seismic Toss again here. It's pretty free. It's just free damage. He could click Synthesis again. If he does click Synthesis again, I know he's got Natural Cure. How much is this gonna do? Very little. Yeah, that does nothing. And he doesn't get the special defense drop. So Seismic Toss. So at this point, Shaman is a problem because Synthesis is gonna make it so that it can always take these Seismic Tosses. And it can sit here for pretty much forever. So I'm going to click Toxic. I know it'll force him to switch out later on in the game. I would assume it's Grassium Z, just because Grassium Z Seed Flare is so strong. So this will force him to switch out at some point, which is fine, because Registeel can just sit here forever on this Shaman. He could have Earth Power, but he's not clicking it, which makes me think he doesn't have it. If he had Ground EMZ Earth Power, then he would definitely click it here. And I don't think it's time for the Resto Chesto just yet. He has to show me that he has that Ground EMZ Earth Power, and I think I can take one, and possibly just a regular Earth Power after that. So now we're going to force the switch at some point. He doesn't have anything immune to the Seismic Toss, so we're going to be able to get that off. And that will allow me to really start wearing down his team. Because I know that the Togekiss and the Shaman both have recovery, but nothing else on his team can have recovery, and so getting them out with the Stealth Rocks up and starting to chip them down is really going to help my team out in the long run. Once his Empoleon's dead, I would love if my Registeel was still alive. I could defog with Gliscor, and then go for the rocks again later with Registeel. Now, also knowing that he's got Synthesis means that I can predict something like that and go out into Breloom later, which is Choice Scarfed Breloom, so it will outspeed this Shaman. And the Technician Mach Punch, or Superpower even, is just going to do a ton of damage to this thing, so he's going to switch out. He's going to get that Natural Cure up, which is fine, because we're going to keep chipping away at this Empoleon here. Because this thing isn't going to touch Gliscor at all. It's just not. And so we can always safely switch into Gliscor. He could just hard switch again, but that's just free damage that he has to take on this Empoleon from the Seismic Toss and then the Stealth Rocks. And then, yeah, he gets leftovers back a little bit, so he does recover the Stealth Rock back, but like, I can just chip away at this thing, and I can roost here on the Gliscor and make sure this thing is healthy, even if he does go for an Iron Head. Which is, obviously what he's going to do here. Now, part of me just wants to click Earthquake. I know it's not going to do much to a Shaman, and he can just really keep switching in that Shaman on my Gliscor, and we're stuck in this weird loop where Gliscor and Shaman are both basically walling each other. So this could be a free switch out into Breloom, which can do 60%. It could be a switch. I could go into Beedrill, If he goes for another Iron Head, though, that's just basically the game here. Can I take an Iron Head from a Empoleon? Well, he's not Life Orb, he's Leftovers, so he may not even be max attack, but I can take one. Not after Stealth Rocks, yeah, after Stealth Rocks I can take one Iron Head, but I can't take another. And so I can't really switch out my Beedrill, which is obviously more ideal. At this point I could go out into Haxorus, which can eat an Iron Head okay, from a Empoleon. Yeah, it'll be okay against that, and then I can actually maybe set up... I don't know if I can set anything up on it. You know what? I'm gonna stay in, and I'm gonna click Earthquake, and we're gonna see is he gonna keep making these switches into Shaman every time. He is. He's just gonna switch into Shaman every time here, which I hate to see because it just means that we're just stuck in this like basically infinite loop until somebody bites on it, because that does nothing to Shaman. And okay, so Shaman's probably going to be able to go for a Seed Flare here. He probably has Psychic. I just don't... He seems bulky, but at the same time, I can't really tell. Even if he's not invested in bulk at all, that does nothing. Breloom to a Shaman does 65 to 77% with a superpower. I think that's the play here. I think I have to go into Breloom here. And see what he's going to go for at this point. Goes for the Seed Flare. He lands it again. He's going to run out of Seed Flares at some point, too. So Breloom's going to take that Seed Flare, okay. Does get the special defense drop, which is unfortunate because technically a Seed Flare will kill from here. But I am in here with Breloom to the point where I don't think there's anything I can do other than click Superpower. Obviously, this is not where I wanted to use Breloom. I could go for a Rock Tomb and make Haxorus outspeed this thing, but then I'm not doing as much damage. I'm just going to click Superpower here. We'll see what he does. And let's see, that does like 50%, so he has definitely invested a little bit. Does he Synthesis here? Goes for the Dazzling Gleam. So we at least get more information about his set, and that does kill me. But it puts him in a range where other things can kill him, and that's really important to me. So Shaman kills Breloom with Dazzling Gleam. And like I said in the team builder, Breloom is the thing I'm going to sack off if I have to sack something off. And then at this point, I can go into Mega Beedrill. I know it's going to take Stealth Rocks. I don't love that. But I need something that's going to outspeed the Shaman. We know it's going to because the Breloom just did, and we know he's not Scarfed. And I can go for a Drill Run here, potentially, although that may not kill a Shaman, and I can't let him live if he does stay in. And so I don't really want to click U-Turn because I don't want to switch out. So I could click Poison Jab, and then if he goes into Empoleon and doesn't take hit from the Poison Jab, we know he's not Scarfed as well, and Drill Run will kill from the range it's at. I could also click Tailwind here, but I'm going to click Poison Jab. If he does stay with the Shaman, he stays in with the Shaman. I really don't want to U-Turn out right now, so I'm in here with what I want to be in here with, admittedly. The only thing that would eventually scare me out would be a Diggersby, because I outspeed everything else in his team, and Manectric, even after the Intimidate, still takes 60% from a Drill Run, so the Poison Jab plus Drill Run combo would take that out, even after an Intimidate. Although if I'm not intimidated, then Poison Jab by itself could take it straight out with the Stealth Rocks. So he does decide to stay in and sack off his Shaman, and that's going to get this game really going here. I think he thought I might U-turn, and he wants Switch Initiative, but I'm going to click Poison Jab. So Beedrill, Mega Beedrill, kills Shaman with Poison Jab. And that's gone, and that means that Gliscor has a lot easier time with some of his Pokemon. He doesn't have the Shaman switch in now for Earthquakes or knockoffs. He never got to use his Z move, which is great by me. Now this could be Quick Attack, it could be Scarfed, Diggersby. Quick Attack after Stealth Rocks does not kill. Doesn't kill. Is he scarfed? He does outspeed if he's scarfed. U-turn's doing like 70 to 90%. It doesn't kill with a quick attack, but it does enough to the point where I die upon re-entry. And I think B-drill is really important, so we are going to go right out into Gliscor here. I'm not even going to U-turn or anything. I don't trust that he's going to not destroy me with everything. Now the problem is if he doesn't go for quick attack, then yeah, so he did go for quick attack, and I outspeed him unless he's scarfed. And if he's scarfed, he doesn't kill with another quick attack. And let's find out from a Diggersby to a Gliscor. Do you OHKO with things? No, not at all. And I could knock off here, but I'm gonna roost here just to see what he decides to go for. I don't think this thing gets Ice Punch. I know it gets U-turn, which is crazy to me, but I don't think it gets Ice Punch. So I'm gonna roost, kind of scout what he wants to do. What is now that Shaman's gone? What is his switch into Gliscor? Because I don't think he wants to take the 50% that Earthquake's gonna do to him, and he certainly doesn't want to take a knockoff from me, and he knows that I have it. So yeah, he's gonna switch out into Trap. Trap is the Primarina. So I get a roost up here, and obviously Primarina, big problem for Gliscor. I'm not staying in on a Primarina. I know that the hidden abilities aren't allowed in this league, but that's a pretty safe switch right now into Registeel. If he does kill my Registeel at this point, he kills my Registeel at this point. It's really not that necessary for the rest of his team. It's just kind of a pivot, and I can rest here and get that Chesto back up if I can take 2 hits from a Primarina, which I might be able to from a max HP, max special defense, Calm Nature. So he goes for the Scald, and that does not burn me and does not kill with another one. So we are going to click rest here. He might switch out into the Empoleon. Fine. He might Scald again, which doesn't quite kill, I don't think. It doesn't kill. Burn doesn't matter if he gets it. I'm going to go for the rest here. So I'm looking at Primarina versus Registeel. Let's see, do we have any information about his item? We know it's not Life Orb. Scald should be doing... So we don't have any information about his item. He's probably not Specs, though. I'm going to click Toxic. If he does switch out into Empoleon, he does switch out into Empoleon. That's okay. And otherwise, he's just going to keep clicking Scald, and we are able to just kind of sit here. So there's the Toxic, and at this point I can click some Seismic Tosses. I really don't care if I get burnt, honestly, by these Scalds. I have no offensive attacks. He knows my entire set at this point when he saw the rest. So we are going to start chipping away at Primarina for the rest of the game, which is huge for me. Because if his Shaman did have Heal Bell, it is or Aromatherapy. It's gone now. Togekiss could also have it. That is true. Togekiss isn't really a switch into my Registeel. So Registeel is going to be able to kind of sit in on his... most of the rest of his team is special if I can get rid of the Diggersby and the Empoleon. So, so a special defensive Registeel is huge here. And we are just going to be chipping away at his team at this point. Now, we are about 20 minutes into this match, and it's 5-5. Hopefully, we are in a position where we are chipping away faster than he is. Once Diggersby goes down, or at least goes down to the point where... once it goes down, I'm going to need to... I mean, my B-Drill has to stay at the HP it's at. So at this point, I think I'm going to need to come in with Gliscor and Defog at some point, which ruins my own rocks on his Togekiss, but that's okay. Not getting the 25% sucks, but it's not the end of the world, and not losing any more HP on B-Drill so I can take a quick attack from a Diggersby is huge. Based on the amount of damage it did to the Gliscor, I don't think it's banded, although it could be. Now, he could go into Empoleon here, and there it is. He's going to take Stealth Rocks. And then he's going to take Seismic Toss, and we know we can take one close combat, and he's predicting me to go into Gliscor every single time. And so I kind of want to click Seismic Toss again here, and if my but the reason I don't want to do that is because my Registeel goes down, then I lose the game. Now, he could switch out again, predicting me to go out into Gliscor here. Registeel isn't at a range to survive a close combat from there. So I kind of want to switch out into Gliscor just to be safe. But if he goes right into Primarina, then I just go right back into Registeel, right? Like, I don't lose anything, and he's just losing health from Toxic. So I am going to switch out into Gliscor here. I have no choice. That is sort of the only play to make right now. I didn't expect this team to be stally at all. It's just that Gliscor and Registeel did a good job countering different Pokemon on his team. There is the close combat, so we do know that he's going to try to make that read here. He has nothing that wants to switch in on an Earthquake except Togekiss, which is, it's a switch in here if he wants to do it. But at the same time, I don't think I have another choice. I kind of have to click Earthquake or switch out again, predicting the Togekiss to come in. Or I can click Defog at this point. Since his Cobalion has a lot of trouble with my team, I could click Knockoff, but I don't want to give him the attack boost. Do I care if I give him the attack boost? I really don't care if I give him the attack boost. Knockoff's actually a better play than Earthquake here. Because I don't see him staying in. He can't touch me anyway, even if he does stay in. Plus, he gets the attack off first, so then he doesn't get the +1 on that. So I'm just going to knock off and get rid of these leftovers, which will help whittle this thing down over long term anyway. Yeah, I know I'll give it the +1 attack this time. It stays in if it does. But he could go out into Togekiss, and that would get rid of its item. If he could go out into the Primarina, that would get rid of its item. He can't go out into the Mega Manectric right here. He won't do that because of the fact that I have Earthquake, and it's the predictable play. He could go into the Diggersby, but again, 4 of the 5 options of his team, getting rid of the item is huge, and the other one is Mega Manectric, which he cannot switch in hard onto my Gliscor at all. And so, and if he does, I just probably at that point sack off Finny and then go into Haxorus. And yeah, so there's a Togekiss. So the Earthquake obviously was what he was expecting there. But we are going to get rid of its item here, whatever that is. And we are going to see it was leftovers. So we know that the Togekiss had leftovers and no longer does. Now we have the Registeel. He could have Fire Blast. Do I think he's teching a Fire Blast for my Registeel? Maybe. It does like 35%. Now I could also just go straight on to Finny here, but I don't want to do that. I want Finny to come in safely, not hard on an attack, because it probably can't take 2, where it can definitely take 1 from almost anything on his team. And so, almost anything. It probably can't take a hit from the Mega Manectric. So there's the Air Slash, and he's just going to try to flinch me to death, but he's not getting leftovers. He may have Roost, but I'm going to keep clicking. I'm going to click Seismic Toss a bunch of times here. If he does Roost, then I know he wants to stay in and Roost on me. Thunder Wave's fine. Thunder Wave's totally fine. So we see Air Slash, Thunder Wave. I mean, yeah, I could get flinched to death here. But I really hope that doesn't happen, and I can always rest later on. So there's the Air Slash. So at this point, I might click Toxic just so that I have some damage coming out on this thing. But this is going to take it's going to take him a long time to get through this. So I am going to click Toxic. That gives me a chance to click Rest later. And you know, that is what it is. So if I can break through at some point here, that would be great. I know that there's a very low chance that I actually break through this, but you know, this is just silly at this point that this is the way that this is going to go down. But we're gonna keep trying. Thank God he doesn't have the leftovers right now. Jesus, 4 in a row? That's a 60% chance. Like, that's kind of ridiculous that just happened 4 times in a row. That's okay. Honestly, I think... Let me take a look at Togekiss versus Haxorus. Because that seems to be what's going to happen here. Wow. That's impressively bad. Like, that's just impressively terrible luck. He misses the Air Slash. We get the Seismic Toss off. That Seismic Toss actually ends up being massive for my team's success here. And at this point, I'm going to click Rest. I know, I asked him not to timer stall, but I did say, do what you need to do to win the game. And we are going to get this Rest up, and I feel bad about that. I do. I feel like that's I hate playing that style of play, but Registeel can't go down right now. It's just not an option. And So I need it to be healthy. I can burn a turn of sleep here freely, and then once I'm awake, I just switch out into Finny. Do we see the roost is really the question. Is he going to do the same thing I just did? He's going to withdraw. He's going to go out into the Empoleon. Negative the Manectric. Okay, so we're going to burn a turn of sleep, and then we're going to stay in and burn the second turn of sleep here, and click Toxic. Doesn't matter because it's a second turn of sleep. And let him Mega Evolve on this instead of on anything else. Because I don't really want him Mega Evolving on any of my physical attackers, and everything's physical except for Finny. So, and Finny can't switch in on this thing. So, burn our second turn of sleep here. Doesn't matter what we click. And then I can Toxic this thing freely after that. And we are in a position where we are whittling his team down. We are slowly making this thing happen. Registeel putting in some work. And let's see. So Intimidate, Clear Body, that's fine. What are you going to do? Flamethrower? Okay. And we burn our second turn of sleep here. And at that point, I'm just going to click Toxic. He's doing about 40% with that, and that is what it is. Toxic will make it so that I have a pretty good chance of succeeding in this game long term. We're going to wake up, we're going to Toxic, we're going to land it, which is good. And Registeel had 187, I'm down to 67, which means that he's doing about 60 every time, which means I can click Rest again if I want to. Or I'm at 57, so he's doing a little over 60 every time, so I can't stay in if I wanted to take a Flamethrower here. Could go into Gliscor, he could have Hidden Power Ice, but I think Gliscor switching in and then right back into Registeel, or into Finny on the Flamethrower. I mean, I feel like switching around is definitely my best play. Registeel still walls his Togekiss and his Primarina, but I can also break through those with Beedrill at this point. So Diggersby is the only problem, and Diggersby doesn't like handling Gliscor as much. So as long as I keep Gliscor healthy, Registeel can go down here. I think we're at a point, finally, where Registeel has done everything it needed to do in order to let this game go on. So Mega Manectric kills Registeel with Flamethrower. And Beedrill can come in here if I want it to. Gliscor can come in here if I want it to. Finny can come in here if I wanted to. But honestly, I think the switch in is going to be Haxorus. Since Mega Manectric can only do 50 to 60% with a Hidden Power Ice to a Haxorus, I can then click Dragon Dance and outspeed everything on his team. And then not be intimidated. He could bring in the Intimidate later, since I expect him to switch out here anyway. But that'll allow me to OHKO pretty much everything on his team and outspeed it. So I'm going to click Dragon Dance here. He can't OHKO me with anything. Hidden Power Ice does max 60%. Haxorus comes in, it clicks Dragon Dance, and Poison Jab the Primarina, Poison Jab the Togekiss, Earthquake the Cobalion. Then the Diggersby is going to be the one thing that's going to cause me problems. But Diggersby has a 50% chance to OHKO after Stealth Rock. So yeah, he does do that. But that did so much more than I expected it to do. But we do live it. We do get the Dragon Dance up. And so we see Hidden Power Ice on the Manectric. So now he has a chance to switch it out if he wants to. He could come in and Quick Attack with the Diggersby later. I'm going to click Earthquake here. And that's the play. If he hard switches into the Diggersby, it does so much damage. It doesn't kill, which is unfortunate. Well, actually, it had a little bit of damage on it, I think, so it might kill. But yeah, Quick Attack will kill. So he's gonna switch out, and he's gonna go out into the Primarina, which even if it's Scarfed doesn't do anything. So I guess he knows that it's kind of dead weight at this point, and he's gonna get a free chance to go into Diggersby after this. Now Haxorus. So yeah, Haxorus kills Primarina. So he's going to go into Diggersby here. Kills Primarina with Earthquake. Diggersby is just such a threat. And do I let Haxorus go down? Yeah, at this point it did. I mean, that was the time it set up, and it doesn't really get another chance to do so. So in comes the Diggersby. He's going to get killed with that, with the quick attack. And then I can just go into Gliscor, and his Togekiss is still alive, though. Man. Do I lose this match now? I don't think I can even switch back in with my Haxorus here, so... I'm just going to go for anything. It doesn't matter. He's just going to quick attack and kill. So Diggersby kills Haxorus with quick attack. And now what? Gliscor is my only real switch into Diggersby. I have to go for a knockoff here, which doesn't touch the Togekiss at all. Gliscor, in fact, really doesn't hit the Togekiss at all. And I need Diggersby gone. Or I could go for I really don't hit the Togekiss hard at all anyway. So I can either hard switch out. I'm just going to Earthquake. I could hard switch out into Finny here, predicting the switch, knowing he's going to preserve his Diggersby. But I'm going to Earthquake, and if he does just go into his Togekiss, I can just go into Finny after that. Gliscor still has a chance, if I can get rid of the Togekiss, to do well, to finish out this game. So, although his Mega Manectric is a huge threat, knowing that it has Hidden Power Ice, actually. And him preserving that's a really big deal. But Beedrill does outspeed that, so if I don't get intimidated on that... So does he go into Togekiss here? No, he goes out into Cobalion, expecting me to knock off, expecting the Togekiss. Great. That helps so much. Or he's just attacking it off. Either way, Gliscor kills Cobalion with Earthquake. And now he can go back out into Mega Manectric. Which did so much more damage than I was expecting it to with the Hidden Power Ice. He must have been modest then. Yeah, he's probably modest and got a huge roll on that. But Mega Manectric does 30 to 40%, so it's not a guaranteed kill on Assault Vested Finny. So he goes out into this thing, which must be Choice Banded, the way he's switching it in and out like that. He must be banded. But even so, Choice Banded Huge Power Return is a 2-hit KO. And I can Earthquake and then Roost and slowly chip this thing down. So, oh, he's got Ice Punch. I couldn't remember if this thing learned Ice Punch. That's the worst thing in the world that could ever happen. And he's Scarfed too. Or I'm not speed invested, so he might have outsped me. But that's worst case scenario. Now Mega Beedrill does outspeed his Manectric. And Lopunny. Wow, this is the wrong team for that. He's going to switch out. I know he's going to switch out. He has to. But he has the Togekiss to sack off to do so. And Mega Beedrill doesn't kill this thing anyway from this range, but he's just going to Quick Attack later. And I don't have Defog anymore. So I do lose the game to Diggersby when he does switch it back in later on. At this point, I have no choice. I have to go out into my Primarina here. Letting the Registeel go down was definitely the end of the game for me. He did well in prep. Diggersby is a huge threat to my team. Obviously, he's a huge threat to every team. But I do have a chance to click... I mean, I can click Ice Beam here, just so that I can hit the Togekiss. I know he's banded. Or I know he's Scarfed, I mean. Or I actually don't know if he's Scarfed. He's probably banded. But Togekiss comes out. It's going to take Stealth Rocks. It's going to die to Ice Beam here. And then Manectric can come out, and then I'll kill it with Beedrill, and then the Diggersby will kill my Beedrill with Quick Attack. And that'll be the way this game goes. It'll be a 1-0, not in my favor at this point. That is the only... I can't see an alternative here. So Tapu Fini... Oh, wait. Diggersby kills Gliscor with Ice Punch. Tapu Fini kills Togekiss with Ice Beam. and he kills me here. I'm just going to click Moonblast. It doesn't really matter. Actually, if he does want to preserve Differential, he just goes for a Volt Switch. He goes for Thunderbolt here, so he does have that. So we see another move on his set. Not that it matters in this case. Thunderbolt, so Mega Manectric kills Tapu Fini with Thunderbolt. And Beedrill is going to switch in. It's not going to be able to take a Quick Attack later. And so at this point, I can Drill Run, I can U-Turn. U-Turn would do more to the Diggersby if he does decide to try to preserve Differential or something, which would be stupid. But he's obviously not going to take it either way, so we are going to just click U-Turn and Mega Beedrill kills Mega Manectric with U-Turn. And then Diggersby's going to come in and Quick Attack will finish off the Beedrill here. And we are going to click U-Turn because it would do the most damage if for some godforsaken reason we manage to survive this, but that's never going to happen. So great game to my opponent, Fireburner. Diggersby kills Mega Beedrill with Quick Attack, and we are now 5-2 in the UBLN. That's not a great place for us to be, but I don't mind it. We're still going to be leading our division. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. I will see you guys next time with another battle in the UBLN, taking on the Happy Valley Hariyamas, and that's going to be a good match next week. See you all then. Take care, everybody.